right. Greetings, everyone. It's been a while since my last video, and as always, as usual, I've been procrastinating, thinking, when am I gonna do this? What am I gonna talk about? What's next? What comes next? What's the perfect next video? I stress out a lot about these simple details, but today I felt some kind of inspiration. I guess you'd say that, and so I thought, let's do this. Let's do this. I've been meaning to do this since the beginning of January. Okay, since January the 1st, and this is February the 1st, right? So it's been a month. You can see how crazy that is. But a lot of stuff have been going on, and I usually lack inspiration or motivation to do any of these, but today I felt like, let me do this. So basically, this video is gonna be an energetic update on 2026. It's not gonna be that long, but I can promise that. Uh, so it's funny when I say 2026, like we are really in 2026. It felt like 2025 was just, sometimes I still feel like I'm 2025, but yeah. So I have an energetic update for this year, and this is what I've been meaning to share from. I was supposed to share this from the beginning of the year, but if you dig it, um, they say that the year doesn't really begin in January. It begins somewhere between March and April. Right? That's a whole nother topic. It's a whole nother thing that I'm not gonna get into right now, but I feel like this is the time for me to drop these updates. So you could use it to prepare for then, or you could stay using it now. But yeah, 2026. What's going on this year on an energetic and spiritual level? I'm not here to drop the whole thing, but I'm here to drop something that is gonna be significant to somebody. So what I received for this year, the energetic update that I got for this year is that there's gonna be what I would like to call quantum limping or quantum jumping, quantum leap. Now, many people use this word differently, but in this context, it literally means a shift in a sudden, intense shift. And it doesn't start with a shift, it starts with a sudden breakdown or a sudden collapsing of. I'll get into that. But then after the collapse, there's an awakening, there's a rising up, there's a shift. That's what I got. For it's not just 2026, but 2026 and beyond. Right. So what's gonna happen is that there's gonna be a collapse of worldviews, of paradigms, of frameworks, of identities, of ideologies, or you could say ideas, and stuff like that. Why? Because when a snake is taking on their new skin, I don't know what they call that. Is it? I forgot the name. There's a word for it. And they come out as a new snake. They go and they lay down somewhere, right? They stay stationary there until they drop off the old skin, then they emerge as a new being. So there's a dropping off that starts, and then you come out a new being. I know this is almost like a cliche, and people say it all the time. This is an awakening, there's a shift that's coming. People say this stuff all the time. Oh my god. Sometimes it doesn't even feel realistic, and I'm being realistic. It doesn't even sound real. Yeah, but it's true most of the time because We are at a time when I was gonna say this is shifting, but we're in a time when this is breaking down because as a human race, as a collective, okay, we have been in a certain, I would say, wavelength or in a certain frequency or in a certain paradigm, right? We as a collective and individuals have different frameworks, have different paradigms, have different perspectives, but as a collective, okay, we've been in this sort of low vibrational framework, a very physical oriented, a very materialistic oriented framework, paradigm, a very earthly paradigm, a very mundane paradigm, right? We have been our focus, our focus as a collective has been downwards, not upwards. We have been looking to what we see, what we feel, and what helps us survive. The majority of us, I still working on their lower chakras, and they're stuck there, and there's a disbalance. There's an excess of energy in their lower chakras. So everyone is trying to survive. Everyone is trying to. My hand is hurting, by the way. This hand is hurting, holding this annoying. It's actually an earpiece, but I'm using like the mic it has. I was gonna buy a mic, but I used the money for something else. Anyways, so my hand is hurting. It really is. But anyways, so I guess 2 more minutes. Yeah. So our focus has been here downwards on the mundane, on the things that help us survive, the things that feel real to us on a physical, on a mundane level. But what there's one thing that happens, whether we like it or we don't like it, and it's evolution. Now, if you're not evolving, you're devolving. But evolution happens, especially when a good portion of the population is bringing in higher frequencies, right? So then there is a shift in the collective conscious. There's a cracking of the egg. I don't know why I put it that way, but yeah. So the collective is on an upwards tilt. Yes, there's an upward tilt. We are now looking upwards, and this is where the breaking down and the collapsing of worldviews come in, because as we do that on an energetic level, we begin to see things. We begin to see things, we begin to feel things, we begin to discover and realize things that is now within the framework of our mundane living, right? We begin to experience and tap into things, and we also begin to recognize and see through the illusion that we are in. And when that begins to happen, it's a complete shattering of worldviews. And now, on a normal level, this is supposed to happen gradually, right? On a personal level, you go through an awakening phase, you go through a collapse of your worldview, you go through the dark night of the soul, and then you come out and then you awake. That's how it's supposed to happen on a natural level, on a normal level. But since the majority of us are never going to be able to follow that pathway in time, there has to be a kind of a shaking up, right? It's going to be a shaking up in order for the collective energy to rise or the consciousness to rise. And so this is what's happening. And you're going to see, we are beginning to see that people are going to begin to awaken. So people are going to begin waking up, and then people are going to begin waking up spiritually, because it's not the same thing. When you begin to wake up, you begin to notice things. You begin to notice things that don't add up in society, on a political level, or in your community, or in economy, or in, you know, things on a mundane level. They don't add up. You begin to notice, you begin to see through the lies that we have been spoon fed. You begin to see through it. The social programming is actually a program that runs in the social network. You begin to see through the program. And then when you begin to tap into that, into that which is beyond the mundane, that's when you begin to wake up spiritual, because the spiritual simply means that which is beyond the physical, that which is beyond the mundane, that which is beyond our everyday living. Yes. So you begin to tap into that, you begin to see that. That's what spiritual awakening is. And so that's what's gonna happen. People are gonna start to see. And I don't know if I said this before. I think I said it, but somewhere else on a post I made on Facebook, that whatever is gonna happen now, a lot of things are going to happen on a number of different levels. Like, there's gonna be social unrest, there's gonna be wars, there's gonna be violence, there's gonna be a lot of things that are not right. Now, it's not like these things are supposed to happen, but like these things can be used to awaken people up. Like what's going on in the Middle East, for instance. I don't want to get into politics and stuff, but like what's going on in the Middle East, right? If you see through that, if you're able to see through that, then you begin to just see a lot of other things. It's a network, like I said, it's a network. So this is what's happening. So a lot of yeah, what I said is that there is somebody somewhere playing around with energy, right? They're trying to achieve something with crazy amounts of energies, and of course the alignment of the stars also play their roles, but whatever they're trying to do is not great. Whatever they're trying to do is not great. I will get into details on another video, but since there is a play of energy, and then all the tensions and the economics collapse, and the and the fightings and all the crazy stuff happening in the world right now is bringing all this negative energy from the collective, right? All that can be used to bring about something that's negative, right? But that also can be used that also can be used to bring about a falling apart of the people. It's an example that I want to give, but I'm not gonna give that one. But yeah, it's a perfect example, but I'm not gonna go into that. But that which is negative can be used to bring about a falling apart or a collapsing of worldviews. For instance, imagine you have a president and you vote for him. Imagine, okay, and you vote for this president because you believe they're the best candidate, and then the president started doing crazy stuff. That's a falling apart of your worldview. You dig that? Okay, I'm not gonna go into details, but you get it. So something like that. So the negative can be used to bring about a collapse of worldviews and paradigms and comfort bubbles and comfort zones, comfortable lies that people tell themselves. I feel like preaching here. Comfortable lies that people tell themselves, right? It brings a shattering of all of that stuff. And that's what's gonna happen. And when that happens, there's gonna be a waking up. There's gonna be a shift. Then people will begin to look at things different, and that's gonna happen. It's gonna be like a shaking up. So it's gonna happen suddenly for most people, unfortunately. And it's not a great thing. It's not a great thing to have your worldview shattered suddenly. Okay, it's not a great feeling. Even when it is happening gradually, it's not a great feeling. But for it to be shattered like that, because humanity has been in this loop and this circle for a really long time. For a really long for the longest time, we have been in the same loop. We have been in the same loop. All this fighting, political unrest, slavery, programming. We have been in the same loop for a really, really long time. And if we're gonna have all this gradual awakening and people finding their path and going through it as slow as they can, that works. It works for a lot of people. But in order for there to be a meaningful shift in the collective, there has to be a tearing apart and a falling down. It has to happen. And then there's going to be an awakening and a shift. And that's going to happen. And I'm going to give you a good example. Maybe it's not the best example, but it's something that I think about, and it's something that I like to, it's something I thought about. That's a good example of a sharing of your worldview. So indulge me for a second, okay? Maybe you don't believe in aliens or extraterrestrials or UFOs, but indulge me. So say a mothership shows up, okay? So we wake up in the morning like a 5, 6 when the sun is rising, and then you come outside and there's a mothership covering the entire sky above you. A mothership, so it's huge, right? It's covering the sky above you. Maybe not the whole sky, but most of it. And you're looking at it. Now, as a person who doesn't believe in UFOs and mothership, whatever, you're gonna be shocked. You're gonna be really shocked, and your whole view is gonna be shattered, right? And you're gonna start questioning things, and you're gonna start wondering about stuff. But here's the thing: you, as a young person, you probably heard about UFO. You probably know about the Milky Way galaxy, and that we have millions of other galaxies out there. If you don't know that, anyways, if you don't know that, go and look it up. Okay, we have millions and billions of other galaxies out there. So the universe is huge. So as a young person, as an educated person, you probably know that. You probably know that we have other planets out there. So chances are there might be folks out there. There might be people. Chances are, right? However, vanishingly small, but not zero. That's a code for foundation. If you know, you know. But yeah, one of my favorite shows actually. Anyways, so your worldview is shattered, but it's not that bad. Now imagine, especially I'm in Africa, I'm in South Sudan, right? Imagine all these our parents or the ones that come before them, those who didn't go to school, right? Our big folks, those who didn't go to school, those who don't even know that we're living on a planet, those who don't know shit, right? What are you gonna tell them? Like, when are you gonna start telling them that okay, so this is so we are in a planet, in a galaxy, and there are planets out there, and these are being like, where are you gonna begin to explain to them? That's a mind fuck. That's your view, your worldview is totally disintegrated. You are done. this is you would lose your mind. Like, somebody would lose their shit. Somebody would lose their mind, literally. You know? And of course there's a coping mechanism. And in fact, spiritual people, like traditional spirituality, they might actually be able to handle this stuff better than most people. Okay, because they know about spirits and they know about beings from other worlds. They know it, right? So they might be able to handle this well, but of course they're gonna call them spirits and stuff like that, gods or whatever, right? But those who are not spiritual, so that's a good example of a total shattering and disintegration of worldview. And that's what's gonna happen. Not exactly, but something like that. This is what's gonna happen. Our worldviews are gonna be shattered. There's gonna be a collapse in our bubble of the mundane, and then we're gonna wake up to who we really are. We're gonna wake up to things that exist beyond the mundane, beyond the physical, beyond what we see, and we're gonna wake up to the illusion of the mundane, the lies in the mundane. And that's just gonna be a beginning of the shift in the collective conscious. And in the years that are going to follow, I will come up with more updates, but there's gonna be drastic change. Drastic. And because on different countries and on different states and in different regions, there is a different level of expansion of consciousness and energetic updates. I mean, energetic upgrades, right? So we're not all the same. Like in the region I am, it's not the same with what's going on, maybe let's say in India, for instance. It's not the same. So all the different wavelengths, we are trying to bring it into a similar frequency. We're trying to bring these energetic levels to a similar frequency, to something similar. So this is why there's going to be a sudden shift for others, while for others it's not going to be anything crazy. For others it's going to be a total disintegration of their worldviews. For others it's not going to be anything new to them. And those within the spectrum. Yeah, so that's my update. So this way there's going to be some sort of like catching up, because we as a civilization, as a collective, when I say as a collective, as a civilization, I can use all that interchangeably, but we as a civilization, we are way below the standard, way below where we are supposed to be, right? We are way let's not even get into that, but we are just as a civilization, so there has to be sort of catching up for us, and that's what's happening. It's gonna start, it has begun, okay, but this is me bringing the update in 2026 for you guys. So how do you prepare for this? Well, just know it's coming. Awareness, nothing beats awareness, okay? So that's that. So when shit begins to go down, don't lose your shit. Don't lose it. Be aware of what's going on. Be more deliberate and more conscious in your decisions, the decisions you make, and just be aware. I don't know. I keep hearing awareness. So just be aware. Okay. Just be aware of what's going on. Aware of what's going on within you. Aware of what's going on the outside, and aware of what's going on behind the scenes. This is why people like us exist, to bring these updates. So try to be in harmony with your being, with your body, mind, soul. Let it be in harmony. And you might need to do some things to bring yourself into harmony. And yeah. So whatever you do, so we have different things that we do to bring us in harmony. But try to be in harmony and try to be aware in everything you do. Try to be aware of what you're doing, of what's going on, and what's going on behind the scene, what might happen, and the bigger picture. And I just laid out the bigger picture for us. This is what's going to be happening in the years to come. Anything, literally anything that's going to be happening in the years to come, it's going to be feeding into this. The collapse of our worldview, a collapse and an awakening and a shift. Yes, that's basically it. So I guess much love to you during these rough times. And yeah, you've got this, we've got this, and we're gonna make it through. A song just came to mind, but I'm not gonna sing it. But yeah, if you've watched this, my longest video so far, I guess it's 20 something minutes. So if you've watched this far, thank you for being here once again. My hand, I can't even feel my arms anymore. Oh my boy. Okay, I mean, oh my god, but whatever. But thank you for being here, and I don't know if I'm gonna make the next video like a month from now. I will try to make regular videos, I promise you. And if this, whatever, I don't want to make ultimatums, but yeah, thank you for watching this one, and I'll see you in the next one.